Ah, it's 3 in the morning, you were dead asleep, and now you're not. That all too familiar urge has woken you up again. If you are just so tired of those nightly trips to the bathroom, trust me, you are not alone. But what if the real reason for all this has been, well, completely misunderstood? All right, so let's get right into it. We've all heard the usual excuses, right? Oh, it's just part of getting older, or my kidneys must be getting weak. But what if that nightly wake up call isn't a malfunction at all? What if it's actually a really clever signal your body is sending you about something way deeper? Yeah, for ages, the easy answer has always been pretty simple. Your bladder control is going, your kidneys aren't what they used to be. It's this very, mechanical explanation. But there's this whole other way of looking at it that says, nope, you're missing the point completely. And this is where it gets really interesting. The idea here is that your kidneys, well, they're just following orders. They're not the ones in charge. Instead, this theory proposes they're just responding to commands from a central energy system. Think of it like a deep connection between your brain and your body's core that's basically in charge of your internal weather. Okay, so to really get this, we have to stop thinking about the body as a machine with parts that just break down. Instead, picture it more like a super sophisticated environment with its own internal thermostat. And this thermostat, it's controlled by two completely different kinds of fuel. The whole key really is balance. It's just like the heating and cooling system in your house. Your body is constantly, and I mean constantly, working to stay in that perfect zone. Not too hot, not too cold. And it uses these two different energy sources to pull it off.
So let's break this down a bit. On one hand, you've got fats and proteins. Think of these as the logs for your internal furnace. They are literally what your body burns to create heat and keep you alive. That's your yang energy. Then, on the other side, you have sugar and water. They're the coolant, right? They make sure that furnace doesn't get out of control and overheat. That's your yin energy. It's this perfect push and pull.
And what's the whole point of this incredible balancing act? It's to keep your body right here in this perfect little temperature window. This isn't just some random number. It's the sweet spot where your cells are happy, your organs are working like they should, and you just feel good. You could call it the temperature of peak health. Okay, so if our bodies are so smart and designed to stay in balance, what's going wrong? What's causing those 3 a.m. wake-up calls? Well, according to this framework, the problem isn't that you have too much water. The problem is you have too little heat. It's literally a fuel crisis. Now, this idea completely flips the script on what we're usually told. Instead of asking, why do I have to pee so much? Or did I drink too much water? The real question becomes, is my internal furnace getting enough fuel to stay warm? And the root cause, this theory suggests, is a lack of the right kind of fuel, specifically fat.
Let's walk through how this happens. It's like a chain reaction. First, your diet just isn't providing enough of that furnace fuel, not enough fat and protein. So what happens next? Your body's internal temperature starts to dip. Once it falls below that sweet spot, your body basically enters what's called a state of internal cold. And that's like a red alert for your brain, which kicks an emergency protocol into gear.
And this leads us to maybe the most important shift in thinking here. That frequent urination, it's not a bug in your system, it's a feature. It's not a sign of failure, it's actually a very smart, deliberate survival strategy.
I mean, think about it like this. If your car engine is running cold, the absolute last thing you'd want to do is pour more coolant into it, right? Your body's logic is just as clear. It feels cold, so the brain sends out an urgent message. Dump the coolant. We have to preserve heat. And the kidneys, being the good soldiers they are, obey. And that's when you wake up.
And the cool thing is, your body gives you clues to tell you what's going on. You just have to know what to look for. When your system is hot or well-fueled, your body holds on to water. Your pee is less frequent, maybe darker. But when you're in that cold state, your body is actively trying to get rid of water. So you're going all the time, it's usually clear, and you might notice things like cold hands and feet, or just feeling wiped out. These are the signals.
Okay, so if the problem is a cold furnace, then the solution is pretty straightforward, isn't it? We need to refuel it.
We need to add more logs to the fire. And that brings us to the actual protocol for how to rebuild that internal heat and get your energy system back online. The whole goal here is really simple. You want to fix the root cause so your brain calls off the emergency. By restoking that internal furnace with the right kind of fuel, you're basically sending a message back to your brain that says, hey, crisis averted. We've got plenty of heat now. You can stop dumping the coolant. So how do you actually do that? Well, the whole approach centers around warming foods. This means things like upping your fat intake. Think fried foods, cheese, avocados. It means using warming spices like ginger, garlic, and chilies. And it means eating marrow-building proteins from things like beans and legumes. And just as important was what you don't do, you want to avoid cooling foods like things with sour or bitter flavors, especially before bed, because they'll just counteract all your hard work. And this leads to a really simple physical sign that you're on the right track. Warm feet. I love this. When your internal furnace is finally burning hot enough to send warmth all the way out to your hands and feet, you know you've done it. You've restored the balance. The brain gets the message, cancels that emergency protocol, and you get to sleep through the night.
So the next time you find yourself awake when you should be sleeping, maybe try something different. Instead of blaming your kidneys or just getting frustrated, ask a new question. Ask yourself, is this a failure or is this a signal? Is my body trying to tell me something? Maybe it's just telling me it's time to add another log to the fire.